like Marvel gear? Check the link in the description and use code DOOM for awesome discounts. From 20 to 60% off, use code DOOM for the coolest Marvel apparel from hoodies to sweats.
I don't wanna see us going hard enough again.
What's poppin', people? It's your girl Spring. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. Welcome to Excelsior Now podcast, where we take your favorite guest and get to know the person behind the keyboard. So grab your popcorn, get those fiery trash emojis ready, and enjoy the show. This is your Doom Squad brand ambassador Spring, and you know the motto: let the good times roll.
Excelsior Now podcast.
Hey, go! Hey, What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD, and welcome to another Excelsior Now presents DSG Reviews Disney Plus. And you already know what's popping, what's going down this week. We reviewing MoonKnight episode number 2. And let's go ahead and bring on the co-host to the building real quick. We have the queen of the team, Miss Alien Fire, aka Alien Fire. Bring it on in and say hello to the people, man.
Hello, my lovelies.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. None other. Next, we got my twin, my dude, the Durags Nation's founder and father. The dude who be talking all fast sometimes, and then he talks real slow sometimes so you can understand the point. So let's get the Birdman on in here. What's good with it, dude?
Thanos was right.
And here we go.
Can we at least start the show? Like, say hello to the people, Sadat. Dang, bro.
What's up, chat?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Y'all know it's gonna be another spicy review. So, first question out of the box, and you know how this goes. MoonKnight episode number 2. Miss Alien Fire. Was it fire or trash?
It was fire. Yeah, I enjoyed it. How could it be trash?
Let's talk to this man down here and see. So, Sadat, don't hurt me too bad today. MoonKnight episode 2. Fire or trash?
Trash.
Ooh.
We'll get into that. We will get into that. Okay. Ooh, I was not expecting that, though I was expecting it. Okay. What did you like about the episode, Miss Alien Fire?
Actually, I particularly liked more towards the ending, where the thing is with Moon Knight is from the first episode, I to me it didn't feel like Marvel. It didn't feel like MCU. I was like, okay, this is a good supernatural thriller, but you know. But at the end of the episode, when he actually turned, like when Mark, Steven, whatever, actually turned into Moon Knight with the suit and running on top of the rooftops with, after that raid thingy, whatever, then yes, it actually felt like I was watching a superhero finally. So that's what I really, really, really liked.
Okay. Sadat, what did you like about the episode, good sir?
Not much.
It was exactly like the first episode until it wasn't.
Okay. You kind of expand on it a little bit?
Yeah, the first episode, they figured out the formula. Okay, we're going to disorient the audience, drip feed them organically with information about Steven and what's going on with him, rather than offloading with exposition. So there's going to be a lot of him running around, being scared, tripping and falling, thinking he's crazy. Then we'll have some contrived scene where there's a dark hallway and very little light, and then we get to see a little bit of Kanchu. He'll have an encounter with the bad guy who will try to reason with him, and then the reasoning will break down, and then he'll resort to force, and then he'll run away like a scared little girl, and then Mark will save him at the end.
So too predictable, in other words.
It was a formula that worked for the first episode. And I literally said they're going to do this for the second episode, and they did. And they did. Tease Moon Knight, hold him to the end, and except they expanded on that for the last episode, and some of it worked, and then a lot of it was very bad.
Okay. I actually thought the episode was fire. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was episode 1, but with more information. So I didn't think that was a bad thing in my eyes. But I mean, we have definitely personal preferences. What I liked about the episode was pretty much everything. I thought it was like funny. They added the comedy to it, and it wasn't just him being so scared. He actually, like when he turned into the suit Moon Knight, the Moon Knight in the little dress suit and whatnot, and he grabs
Mr. Knight.
Yeah. And he grabs the bumper of the car and he like pulls it off and it's like, oh, hey, I thought that was pretty damn funny. And Mark is a monster. The dude is a beast. Like they are really two different people, and you see that in this episode. Like when Mark takes over, he's just like a straight monster, and he has precise things that he wants to do and how he wants to do them. And Steven is just kind of flaily idiot, and it's funny to watch. He reminds me of Mr. Bean.
It's painful to watch.
It's just like watching Mr. Bean or Monty Python or something like that. You know what I mean? So
kind of the problem.
I like it. Alien Fire. What didn't you like about the episode, man?
What didn't I like? Nothing in particular. Well, I'm still wondering why Control Avatar has 2 people. Like, why is that normal? And that they still haven't answered that, and that really bothers me. I think, like Sadat said, I think by now we should know, especially if there's only like 6 episodes, unless they want to keep it for a big reveal. But yeah, that just. And yeah, there's still like so many things that I don't really understand about what's going on. So, and I think that unless you already know Moon Knight and you've read the comics, you're lost. Like, I'm going to have to, do some digging online to find out, because it's just, and we don't know what Khonshu did to get banned by the other gods. It's all like up in the air, and that kind of bugs me. But that's about it.
That makes sense. Mr. You know what? I'm gonna go before you.
Yeah, because he's gonna have a laundry list of things.
It was very few things I didn't like about the episode. Like, I really didn't like the fact that he was Steven for so long. I was ready to get Mark in. You know what I mean? I don't like Khonshu. I don't like Khonshu at all. I think we'll talk about him though. I don't like him. He's not cool. I don't like him at all. The villain in here is pretty like, he kind of running the mill to me. He doesn't stand out. He's like, oh, I'm the good guy. I'm just like the Punisher. You know what I mean? He's like a weak version of the Punisher or whatnot. Like. At least the Punisher had charisma. This guy is just like, I am great, I am cool. Everybody, I'm going to touch you and you're going to die, or maybe you'll live because I'm cool. And I'm just like, you're really not that cool, bro, at all. So, next. But I digress. That's what I didn't like about it. Sadat the Gamer, I'm going to let you go ahead and have fun with this. I'm going to grab some coffee.
So one of my issues with this episode, and I was starting to see it on Twitter, and I don't have the exact same grievances, but they do align. There were a lot of people who were fans of the comics who were upset with the portrayal of Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight is, of course, the persona of Moon Knight. When he put the suit on, that's Steven's version. That's what he looks like when Steven takes over instead of Mark. It is from the comics, but Mr. Knight in the comics is very different from Steven's portrayal. Obviously,
So I just want to be sure. Mr. Knight is the one with the suit that we saw, the very first version of Moon Knight that we saw when Steven changed into the suit.
And the ceremonial battle armor, which is what they called it in this episode. That's what happens when Mark takes over.
Yeah, like at the end, like the
Mr. Knight is the suit. Yeah.
Okay, the one. So the first.
So when he fell out the building and transformed.
Okay, and he said, nice. Okay, all right, thank you.
That's Mr. Knight.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't like Mr. Knight's portrayal, not because I'm attached to the character, but I thought that whole sequence looked completely ridiculous. It looked like it got like there's a way to add levity to a scene, and then there's just making it a complete joke. And before, the tone of Moon Knight was kind of serious, a little bit of horror, and then it just went straight to slapstick comedy. It was completely stupid, and part of it looked like they were trying to save on their CGI budget by having them fight an invisible dog. And this looked dumb. It looked cheap. The choreography was awful. It dragged on way too long. It single-handedly that whole sequence brought down the entire episode, and it undermined the cool rooftop scene where Mark ended up killing the thing. Also, can this villain do anything else? Like, how incompetent could he possibly? He's a cult leader. He's in a room he's got a room full of cult members who work for, some of them are police officers, and the most he can do is summon one dog.
Lackluster. He's definitely lackluster.
I agree with Dude. He's such a uninspired villain. What a villain! A villain who wants to bring world peace by killing a lot of people. Oh no! I've never heard that before.
He's like a little baby Thanos, but with no swag, you know.
and then like how they were having like a philosophical debate with Steven, where Steven was like, "Wait a minute, you kill babies?" And
that was a weird conversation.
And he had no rebuttal. It was like,
what did he say? What the hell did he even say?
He compared it to hacking off a diseased limb to save the body, and I'm like, they couldn't at least try to make the villain at least somewhat believable. Like, they can't have a battle of wits. It's like, no, you can't have a battle of wits. One is a complete moron, and the other is a scared archaeologist that's for some reason was working in a gift shop. So I'm like, this is very goofy. And I'm not buying any of this, and it's pretty much what I thought it was going to. I thought the episode was just going to go all downhill from here. At least we got some extra info. I know some people are going to be mad they kind of copped out, and made it. Oh, he's not schizophrenic. It's magic. Mark is the avatar.
I don't get that. That doesn't make sense.
And he also Kanshi also threw this in here, but the reason why this whole thing is happening is because Mark Steven was dead, and then Khonshu brought him back and made him serve him as part of his bargain, and he's basically holding him hostage and with the threat of making his wife the next Avatar, which
Okay.
is a weird threat because Comic Conchu, from my understanding, work and based on how they kind of established this, it's supposed to be a choice, not a possession, per se. So I guess so I'm like, why would she become the Avatar, especially if Mark just tells her, no, this guy is garbage. Don't listen to him. But apparently he's using the threat of making her the next Avatar in order to keep him doing his bidding. So it's like, so we don't really even have a kind of a moral center of this series, which could, except for Steven, who's just like, get me out of here. all of
that
you are
goes
terrible
on into
people.
the next subject, bro, which is Steven versus Mark, which we saw with the Mr. Knight suit summoning that Steven also has powers, which is a weird thing. Like, so, like you were saying in your what you were just now saying about, Mark being the Avatar and Steven is just the body, right? So it's like three people in one. You got Kantu, Mark, and Steven. But I'm not sure that's the case. I really think Steven is schizophrenic, bro.
Yeah.
Like Mark and him are completely different. But then again, like it's so weird. This explanation is just so strange because did Mark actually die? And if so, why does he look exactly like Steven if that's the case?
Yeah, Khonshu literally said you were a dead body when I found you.
Right, yeah, pretty much a dead man. That's what he said. But so what I'm wondering is if that was actually Mark and Mark was on his deathbed. You know what I mean? Even though it's Steven as well, like Mark went out and did something and was on his deathbed, and Kantu was like, okay, yo, bro, I'm gonna save your life, but you gotta come be the Moon Knight or whatnot. You know what I mean?
Or maybe Steven died, and maybe Mark's soul was put into the body. Because it seems like there's two souls in the body.
Yeah, that's for sure.
For sure.
Or he has
Or
a bad
something.
case of split personality.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, I'm thinking it's more schizophrenia, split personality than I don't know. That's what. Hopefully, episode 3. Is
They better clarify
we could talk
that.
about this for
Annoying.
an hour and not
Yeah.
get nowhere.
Annoying.
You know what I mean? But Steven has powers as well. So
But aren't they the same powers though?
they pretty much are, but dude is more refined. Mark is more
Yeah.
refined. He knows what he's doing. Steven is just
Yeah. From what I gather, Khonshu gave the body the powers of the Moon Knight.
right.
And he told Mark, okay, I'm giving you this body, I'm giving you this power, use it to do what I want. But because Steven takes over, Steven also has access to the power because they're in the same body. He just doesn't know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's working on
Yeah,
instinct.
that's pretty much
Right.
something.
Right. Mark wants out, but will he stay to protect Layla? I'm gonna start with you on that with Sadat.
I think Steven kind of the one time Steven kind of got one over on Mark is where he kind of called Mark out on his stuff by saying, you're trying to push away Layla is pretty, it's kind of dumb, sir. He's clearly another hero that's like, oh, I need to protect the one I love by making her sign these divorce papers and never seeing her again, so she's not a part of this. Apparently, but Steven, who had no idea who she is, he's obviously falling for her. So, but we can gather from the context clues that Mark feels very strongly about her, and that's pretty much his main motivation. So I definitely think he's going to continue to do what he has to do in order to keep her safe, especially now that she's directly involved, though she doesn't have to be anymore because they lost the sheriff.
Okay. Well, I got a question for both of you that's not on the storyboard. And it just came to my head while we were talking. Steven mentions that he spoke to his mom, right? And then Layla's like, y'all are talking again.
Yeah.
Is there two moms? Or, whose mom is it? Because obviously Layla knows that Mark has a mom and that they're not talking.
Mhm.
Obviously, Steven is talking to
Talking
his
to his
mom on
mom
the
every day.
right. So who's wow?
Wow,
That's a
yeah.
crazy question.
I
I'm gonna
didn't
start
think
with you
about
this time, Alien. Go ahead, man.
that. Yeah, you're catching me off guard here. I didn't even.
Yeah, it just came to my head too.
Uh, I'm gonna call two different universes. I don't know.
Wow, she just hit the multiverse of madness on us real quick.
That's the only logical explanation to me. I mean, like
Sadat, whose mom is actually the real mom? Steven's or Mark's?
Stevens.
So Steven was there first, you think, and Mark is just a split personality of Steven.
it would make sense, yes.
But that's so crazy because then it breaks down to where was Mark and where was Steven when Mark was on his deathbed and Contra
So
saved him.
I think they might be talking about the same woman, but Mark, from what we've gathered, is more like a secret agent spy type of deal. So obviously, he has the passport, he's got the cash, he's got the guns, he's got the storage locker. I think well, I mean, clearly he's keeping a lot of things from this woman, even though they're married and apparently have been going on dangerous adventures together as mercenaries.
Right.
But obviously he's keeping a lot from her. So presumably he could just be like, oh yeah, I don't talk to my mom because he doesn't
Yeah.
because he wants to keep Steven away from Layla and all this other stuff, and Layla against
That's true.
away from Steven and everything else.
That makes sense. Well, you sure Steven is the main?
I can't say for sure, but who's the main? But it would be weird, like it because if I guess from what we gathered, Steven hasn't had much of a Steven hasn't had much of a life.
Right.
Whereas Mark, he got married, he's gone on adventures, he's an international criminal.
Bro. Okay. Picture this. You know how Mark always setting stuff up for Steven to be good, right? Like he went the fish, he was gone for 2 days, so he didn't feed the fish, so he had to go and buy a new fish and put him in all of that. He's always fixing stuff. He'll put the tape back on the door. What if he hired somebody to play his mom, to play Steven's mom? So when he talks to her, because when you think you said something so on point, he has no life, he has no friends, he has nothing. So what if, bro? Wow.
Yeah,
Give me thoughts on that. Give me thoughts on that.
Yeah, we know he's trying to keep the illusion going that he's just kind of crazy. Like he chains himself to the bed because he thinks he has a sleeping disorder. But so every time Mark goes off on his adventures, sometimes for months at a time, he makes sure when he comes back, everything's as is. The the apartment looks relatively the same. He's still chained up, everything like that. If there's blood, he's all clean. So yeah, it's very possible that he could be adding to his life to make sure that we obviously know he doesn't have to worry about money.
Right.
And
That's what I'm saying.
another thing about the mom, I noticed that almost right away. It's that Steven doesn't really actually talk to her. He leaves messages, right? He's talking to an answering machine. Like you don't get the feeling of a conversation of a back and forth. Like to me, he's just speaking to an answering machine.
You're right.
So many questions, I tell you.
Yeah, this
But
show is actually better than
that also begs the question though, why did Mark ask out his hot coworker?
Steven. Oh no,
Mark asked her out
for
Steven.
Yeah, if Steven asked her out, she would have told him to go F himself. but Mark did it, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll see you for some steak," and then he just blows the whole thing off. Like, why that kind of goes against everything we know about Mark's character.
No. Remember, he got that mission right after that because Steven was actually going to go on a date or whatnot, but dude had that mission over there in Egypt where he had to go.
No, but I'm saying why would Mark do that in the first place? Why would he ask for?
Mark probably wanted some. You know what Mark was trying to get right, bro. That's literally what I'm thinking. He was trying to get right.
No, like everything we know about Mark is that he's all about the mission. He's married. He loves his wife. Conscious took over the
Yeah,
answers the question, bro. That answers the question.
There you go. Khonshu did it.
all along.
Khonshu hadn't gotten some in a couple millennia.
Khonshu was like, she kind of got a nice little thickness to that. Okay,
you wanted some milk chocolate? I feel you. Because it doesn't make everything we know about Mark. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like he clearly loves his wife, and he only cares about the mission and getting out from under Khonshu for the sake of his wife. Why would he? The only way I could think of for him to even be in that museum is to maybe be doing some scouting, because we know the bad guy has cult members that work in the museum.
True.
You're right.
Good
but
point.
Speaking of Khonshu and Khonshu snatching up bodies and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? Why is Khonshu such a jerk, bro? And he seriously, they made him really look like a clown in that one situation where he when Steven was talking to the villain or whatnot, and Khonshu comes up, choke him, punch him in his clavicle. Oh, I'm just like, bro, come on, dog. Like, for one, you're talking to Steven and you know this. He's not going to do any of that. And you kind of just sound really silly in the background, you know? And then dude made him look even worse because he's like, you know, blowing all the wind. And he was like, oh, don't even worry about that. He can't do nothing. And like literally just took his power away. I was like, wow. First you look like a jerk. Now you look like a weak jerk. You know what I mean? So, Alien Fire, talk to me about the Khonshu jerkism real quick, please, madam.
I don't know. The minute he started talking to Steven and then Mark, I had like Venom vibes, like the whole Venom and Eddie thing, like literally. And even the voice, like his voice almost sounds like Venom when he was talking to Eddie in the beginning, and not in the second movie because that was totally different. But yeah, and I'm like, I thought that the whole thing was very silly, and it could have worked that out a bit better. Yeah,
they didn't have to make Khonshu look like a buster. They really did not at all.
No, exactly. Yeah, he wasn't. I didn't feel like he was menacing or threatening or.
At all.
No.
He looked like a clown. Really did. Twin, I know you would like to speak on this part right here. Please.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm ready.
So the main thing I see is that they just they had to marvel up the character a little bit. You know,
that's a good point.
They always have to do that because you know there's an element of truth that obviously in the comics, Khonshu's weakness is that he can't exert power in the regular world, in the real world. That's why he has to use avatars, and he's also exiled. He's also an outcast from the other gods, and we kind of see why he's a bit of an ideologue, you know, when it comes down to when you take away the goofy MCU dialogue trying to imitate Venom, it's down to it. He's an ideologue. He wants to exert justice. You know, he's all about punishing bad guys. Maybe the other guys are indifferent. The one the villain seems to worship seems to be pretty much the same, except with the ability of omniscience, apparently. So she could see what you do in the future, and so that could be an interesting dynamic, potentially an interesting philosophical, you know, conundrum of fate versus free will. But obviously, this isn't the writing is not smart enough to properly explore these contrasting ideologies. You know, waiting. You know, do you kill Hitler as a baby, or do you wait until Hitler?
Did they have this conversation in game already? Like we've already done this, right?
You give the person a chance to change, or do you just punish them after they've already committed to the evil?
Can we talk about that as a group real quick?
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about that? We'll start with you, Alien. Punishment before you commit a crime or punishment after you commit a crime? Which one do you think is right?
After, what is this thing about? But I would say that no, because that would be, you can't change the past, I suppose. But like, yeah, I would be all for killing Hitler when he was a baby, just to prevent all the atrocities he's committed. But if you do it in the present while the person is still a baby, like now, no, that's horrid. Like, let the person live their life and, you know,
Hopefully
go
someone
through.
can guide them in the right direction.
And but because if you do that, then you're obviously you're playing with history. You're changing the timeline. You're no. It's just a bad idea all around.
What you got for me, twin? Before or after the crime? Which one is right to you?
So what's obviously right to me is you kill you punish people when they've actually done something wrong. The problem with the MCU is that they've kind of established that there isn't really free will per se. There's like, and free will is considered an anomaly, and there's literally an organization designed to punish free will. so if you look at the villainess, she would be right about Hitler, because his timeline is set. You can literally look at it. He has a set timeline. This variant of Hitler is going to kill millions, is going to be responsible for the death of millions of people. So morally, since you know for certain this is going to be the outcome, there's nothing that can be done about it. Within the context of the MCU, she is correct. You don't wait, even though you're killing an innocent person. The reason why it's a conundrum in our time is because we don't have that certainty. We know that people can change. We know that that environment and everything like that factors into how someone grows up, and no one is born inherently evil. The choices they make are influenced by who they're around, what they're experienced by. Whereas in the MCU, your timeline is set, and if you diverge from it, someone is going to pluck you out of it and erase you.
But the TVA ain't the same no more. Remember, they kind of wrecked that in the whole free will.
The thing is, the TVA still exists. It still functions as the TVA. It's just now the floodgates are open, and the multiverse, instead of it just being one neat contained timeline, it's a branch of all these other timelines, and different kings now can vie for supremacy over all of the timelines. But the TVA still functions as a TVA. They're just now trying to clean up the mess that the Lokis made.
Yeah, because you remember how Loki ended? Like they went back, and nobody would recognize them when they were at the TVA. So they're still there, but
and what's her name? B-52 or whatever her name was. Like, we just gonna let it spread, or what does the boss man want us to do? And do
what was his name? Morbius. Yeah. So he couldn't even recognize Loki. So I was like, oh boy, that's just.
So their timelines are completely not. That's weird. Again, I kind of want to hash back on this just to get definite answers from both of you. Who is the main persona in your eyes right now? Steven or Mark? And start with you, Alien.
Steven. I mean, yeah. Because, fine.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go with Steven.
Sadat. Actually, I'm going to go and then you can go Sadat. I'm going to say I actually think it's Mark. Only because of all of the points you actually made about him not talking to his mom, actually, him not having any friends. You know what I mean? The only time he is literally interacting with other people, unless he's buying a fish, is Mark, really. And it comes right back around. So I think Mark is actually the main persona. I have not read any comics on Moon
No, me
Knight. I
neither.
really don't know. So, I mean, if people in the chat might know who the main persona is, but as far as I can tell from what we watched, it's definitely Mark. What you got for me, Twin?
In this show, I think it's definitely Steven because Mark is always fighting for control. He doesn't understand. His whole thing is like, I need you to get out of the way. I need you to give me control. I need you to let me help you. He and the fact that Steven isn't used to being, the one that's looking, that tells me that Mark has mainly been the one that's, behind the scenes watching, waiting for his chance to take over. So for whatever reason, Steven is in the driver's seat.
Okay, somebody who read the comics knows. Says Mark, he literally has a dissociative identity disorder from his near-death experience in Egypt, which now makes all the damn sense in the world. Okay, because I was about to rebuttal you, but he kind of did it for me. I was about to say, then why did Kantu say that Steven wouldn't get in the way of Mark doing his job? And that's because I think he knew that Steven was in the back of Mark's head after his near death. See, that literally just made all the sense in the world to me. Hopefully they expand on that, which is the next question I was literally about to get into, which is, will the next episode reveal the actual backstory and who's who? So
Probably we'll be in Egypt then, so we'll be there in Egypt, so hopefully we'll know more.
Twin, what you got on that? What do you think? Next episode will be the actual reveal? Because we saw Mark just sitting in there drinking a beer at the end of it. Like, it's about to be his time. You know what I'm saying? What you think?
Well, we're at the halfway point, so I think based on this being a Disney Plus show, this is where we get the flashback episode where we learn where we finally get to play out things from Mark's perspective. And learn about
really
what's
making
going
me
on.
want to go read some Moon Knight now. I'm not even joking. I'm like, yo, this is just so confusing. Like the way they're doing it is really.
The memes are good though, but maybe the comics will be good too. I haven't read it.
The villain, a former Moon Knight. Which Moon Knight was that? Because the only Moon Knight I actually knew of was Mark Spector. I didn't even know about the split personality because, like I said, I have really not that much background on the character. I only know him from video games, to be honest with you. So, which is there another Moon Knight that I don't know about, or it's like it's
probably. I don't.
Do you're not really versed in the comics as well?
I've never read the comics. When I just decided to come into this series completely blind to see how they tell the story. Only thing I know about Moon Knight from the comics is that he had mental disorder, and a lot of great memes are made out of his panels.
Well, apparently he's part of the comics, so I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense then, I guess. All right.
I mean, it gives him an interesting perspective, which they could explore if they do it right.
I actually liked the dialogue when they were talking about when the villain. What is the villain's name? Anybody?
Arthur Harrow.
Arthur Harrow?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't even know who he is at all, but I like the combo him and Steven were having, and Conchu's in the back just yelling, "I am actual vengeance" or whatnot, and dude was literally repeating what he was saying, and Mark is like, "Wait, can you hear?" Steven was like, "Can you hear him?" He was like, "No, I just know what the hell he's gonna say." I thought that was pretty good dialogue right there.
I mean, doesn't make Conchu look good.
No, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. And that whole dude, literally, the villain, literally was crushing Kantu the whole time. He made him look weak. Is what I'm trying to get across because.
But then he used to be his avatar, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Like they knew each other already, and he knew everything about him. So
Do you guys think that they're going to resurrect the other goddess or whatnot? The goddess,
Amit, yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Yep.
Oh.
Otherwise, it will, yeah, it's going to be like it's going to culminate in this huge fight between Amit and Khonshu, and yeah.
Any help from any other Marvel character in this show? You think he's gonna get any help from any mystic or any street level? Maybe like a Luke Cage, or not Luke Cage, but a street level hero like that we've seen in either Netflix, Disney Plus, or MCU already. Start with you, Alien.
That's an excellent question, and I wasn't prepared for that, and I don't have any answer. Maybe I don't know who would be.
Wong has been everywhere. So I'm like, Wong is everywhere. So
Oh
he's
yeah,
like he's the new Coulson. So
true. One would probably make sense because he's like the glue between everything that's magical and supernatural, and he had his like twin in the Eternals, which was really funny. But yeah, maybe Wong, but
Maybe
I don't know. I don't know.
Don't you dare say Mephisto. I know what's on the tip of your tongue. He's like, Mephisto, baby. Now who you got for me, Sada?
I'm actually not expecting any cameo. I think he's going to summon his goddess. She's going to possess him. There's going to be a sky beam at some point. They're going to have a CG. They're going to have a CGI fist fight between MoonKnight and Arthur in her avatar form. Moon Knight's gonna get beat up by evil girl boss, and then somehow they're gonna come up with a MacGuffin, and Layla's gonna save him, and they're gonna have a happy ending. And maybe we have a Wong cameo in the end credit scene.
The chat is talking about Blade.
Blade, yeah, the cameo.
Blade.
Nah, I don't think it's happening.
Well, because didn't he have a really small cameo in the Eternals at the end?
Yeah, but they didn't even
His
show
voice.
his face.
His voice had a cameo. If anything,
his voice.
If anything, it would be Black Knight. But considering how considering how bad they are at keeping secrets, I think this would have leaked already. If they're getting a big cameo, they have not been able to keep any of these Disney Plus cameos a secret so far.
Or heroes. I mean,
yeah.
I knew about the actor who would play Black Knight way before Eternals.
The Kid Harington.
Every single Disney Plus show has had a cameo, bro. Every one of them. Now that I think about it. Loki had, except for Loki, actually. Loki had all of the Avengers in it in the beginning of it. Like the beginning of the show, it had the Avengers in Loki. Then
that doesn't really count though. That was
it does though when you think about it.
That was a scene. That's the prologue.
They still appeared, bro. They still appeared. WandaVision had
Doctor Strange cut.
But
for being a white man.
They still had Monica Rambeau, who actually played in Captain Marvel, is what I was about to say. But there would have been a double cameo because of Strange. You're right though.
She's not really. She wasn't really a cameo. She was a series character. She was actually.
But she appeared. Is what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to stop it. Captain America and the Winter Soldier had Rhodey.
Falcon.
Yeah. And Captain America and the Winter Soldier. He's Captain America now.
But I'm sorry. Yeah, but the show is called Falcon. Sorry.
It's Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Black Falcon and Winter Soldier had the Dora Milaje
and they had Sharon Carter.
Mm-hmm. Sharon Carter was in it as well.
Zemo.
Yes.
So yeah, what's the other show that they had? Is there any other Hawkeye? Who did Hawkeye? Hawkeye had Yelena in it.
Daredevil and Kingpin. No, is it
Kingpin?
Yeah, not Daredevil.
So
yeah.
Every show has had
Spider-Man
somebody else from the Marvel universe in their show. So you never know. You never know. So
That's what end credit scenes are for.
Yes, indeed.
why are you like this, bro? Why are you like this, dude?
He's right.
I got a question before we wrap this thing up. Do you guys think this should have been a movie instead?
Nah,
No.
this one. I don't think this would have worked as a. I think this
No.
is fine as a show.
No.
It could have worked as a movie, but the reason why they didn't make it as a movie is because Moon Knight is not a well-known character.
Blockbuster, right?
Yeah, the MCU is very conscious of what they make as a movie. Eternals, no one knows who they are, but they are, they were marketed as this big superpowers. We have us all-star cast. We have Angelina Jolie and all this, so they can market it as a big tempo movie. So even though you have no idea who they are, you're not going to see it for the Eternals. You're seeing it for oh look, we have all this diversity. Oh look, we have these A-list actors. We have all these we have a speedster. We got basically a Superman. We have these we have the Celestials.
Basically the Justice League for real.
Yeah. Marvel's Justice League. Whereas Moonlight, it's a street level character. Not a lot of, on top of not having a huge amount of name recognition, so not something they would lead with for
a big movie,
for a solo movie like Shang-Chi. Even though it was risky, but also even though he's grounded, they had a lot of non-grounded stuff. You had it was a kung fu movie. You had magical dragons and bracelets of power.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Marvel Studio is playing it a lot safer than Sony, as we also with Morbius. Yeah, that was.
Is that even a movie? It's like
but the vampire. Yeah,
but also no Shang-Chi. The Shang-Chi Eternals sale box office wise down point, for the MCU up until we got to No Way Home.
Right. Also representation too. That's another, minority character versus another white character. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we need more representation out there versus another white guy that's literally dressed in all white with a hood. So kind of, what I mean?
I don't know. Is Oscar Isaac white? He looks a little swarthy.
Yeah.
Let me sip some coffee, bro. You silly.
Looks like somebody was doing something in this family tree. That's all I'm saying.
Next page. Overall thoughts, guys. I know we went kind of 40, 75, 25 on this one. But overall thoughts on Moon Knight as a whole. Episode 1 and 2 combined. What are you guys thinking? We'll start with you, Alien.
I enjoyed it. It's not going to be one of my favorite of all the series. Like I said, it's starting to feel like the MCU, like the Marvel, but I'm still the jury is still out on that for me. I'm looking forward to going to Egypt and see what's going to be happening there. But to me, it feels more like a supernatural thriller as a whole. Like it could be an offshoot of Stargate or something. It gives me those vibes a lot. And but so far so good.
Okay. Overall thoughts so far on both episodes combined, the series as a whole so far?
So far it's a lot better than Hawkeye, which isn't saying much. But
by the way, what did you think of the music in the first episode? I was really thinking about you because you criticized the music in Hawkeye so much, but that first Moon Knight episode was like, the music just didn't fit at all. It was just like even more silly than at least in Hawkeye, it was Christmas music and it fit the bill. But with the first episode of Moon Knight, it was like, what the hell is that? Like, no.
The Moon Knight score is just like Oh, it's just to me. It looks like they just went on
Very
and Googled action movie score.
Yeah. It's very generic indeed.
Suspense score. Insert
true.
copy paste sound effects. It's very bland and forgettable.
Thank you.
But
So happy Kitty
Hey,
is
we
not
agree
here
on
today.
that. Actually. At least we agree.
I am so happy Kitty is not here today. Oh my god.
First episode so far is just like that's fine. The first episode was decent. Second episode started going off the rails. Definitely started like I remember Kitty thought some parts of episode 1 looked cheap, but episode 2 definitely looked cheap.
Like the invisible fight made me.
Invisible fight was very, very cringe. Oh, it was so bad. I felt like I joke that Disney is CW with a bigger budget. That definitely felt like a CW fight scene. That was
Bro,
not
not
good.
to see.
That was not great.
You went there, guys.
That definitely looked like some CW wire work.
Bro.
It used to remind me of the CW Supergirl fight scenes when they clearly got her on a wire and it's like
Flipping backwards. I quit. I'm done. This show's over. My overall thoughts are a little different from Sadat's. I'm not even looking at him right now. My eyes are closed.
Please, someone clip this and make a GIF.
Please. I need it in my life. I need that Matrix and that in my life.
That
My
was
overall
beautiful.
thoughts are a little
That
bit
was
different. I
beautiful.
actually enjoyed it. I like the silliness. That was not really entertaining at all. I kind of wanted them to move past that or actually just let him whip the dogs behind or whatnot, but it never really happened. And that was a real letdown for him to just give up the body like that and be like, oh, well, yeah, I can't do it. You go ahead and run it. Thought that was pretty weird in the way that happened. But from that point on, that MoonKnight running on in the skylight with the paws in the air right on the crescent moon, I thought that was cinematic beauty to me. But if you go back to Daredevil season 2, that is the exact same thing that happened in Daredevil season 2 at the end when he's running across the building and Elektra is about to get, you know what I mean, shot and whatnot, and he's jumping in the air. It's the exact same scene. It was cut and paste, but I still enjoyed it. It was it looked good. Even though I knew exactly what was going to happen, it looked really damn good. Overall thoughts for me, I'm gonna give it about so far with both episodes, I would say 8 out of 10. What you say as far as number ranking?
I'd give it a 7.
7 out of 10. And Sadat?
what are you eating?
Chocolate croissant and Starbucks coffee.
Solid.
Well, that was random. Thank you.
I thought episode 1 was an 8. I thought episode 2 was a 6. So about 7.
7 out of 10. That's not bad. That's still up in the ranks. Hopefully, I'm really hoping this next episode just gives us, episode 3 of a Marvel Disney Plus show is literally the backstory show. We all know this at this point. You get to understand what happened. So I'm hoping they did take us that route, and I hope that it's good. You know what I mean? Oscar Isaacs is really good at playing both of these.
Very good.
Yeah, very
Really
good.
good.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see a little bit more Mark though, because that character is a lot more interesting than goofy ass Steven. Excuse my French.
I think this going. I think I'm hoping that this is, since it's supposed to be the backstory episode, this is finally the Mark episode.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping. Well, I like the way it ended. It ended with him like, this is my body. I'm chilling. Watch how things play out. So I like the ending. Actually, it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
6 episodes in total. Am I correct?
I think so.
Was asking. Yeah, 6
So we
in
have
total.
3 so far?
I believe.
No, 2. We only have, that's the second one. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we got 4 we got 4 left. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Alright,
and like I said, going to Egypt, and it's going to be like, I'm sure the focus will switch to Mark then. That should be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. I'm really looking forward to it, to be real.
Yeah, should be a lot more action.
Yeah, hopefully.
Even just him acting.
love this so much. I love this so much.
Do I have any mods in the building right now? Because if y'all not clipping this right now, my God. Oh, man. Anyways, guys,
What's the
anything
DSG
you got?
podcast without the silliness? I mean, come on.
I actually don't mind it. It just went on too long. It was too Monty Python-y for too long. Like if it was, if he would have just did that, got knocked out real quick, and was like, okay, Mark, take over, I'd have been cool with it. But him trying to, I can do it. I'm not gonna give you the body and giving it to him. It
dragged out way too long. It dragged out way too long.
Very cringy.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything they want to say real quick before we get up out of here? Starting with you, Alien?
Nope. That's it. Looking forward to next episode.
I really do. Twin, what you got?
I hope to God I'm wrong, but I'm not looking forward to another episode of freaking Steven running around not knowing what he's doing.
No, I don't think that's what we're gonna get. No.
I'm hoping this is indeed the Mark flashback episode, and then in episode 4 we're going to get right back to the usual formula of Steven running around not knowing what he's doing and Mark having to save him.
I'm hoping that they mellow him out a little bit because he's starting to get the understanding.
He's not.
You know what
I
mean?
I know from the trailer they're not, because they still have some scenes they haven't hit yet, and they include Steven going like,
okay, all right. Let's embrace this Steven with the best embrace we can. Okay, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. From Bobo to Yardrash, Jason Jones, Slipshock, Casual Old Head Avenger, Big Canius, King Dork, everybody else who was in here. We greatly appreciate you guys stopping through. Cam Sinclair, Fascisto Fax Medina. That's a cool, crazy name.
Yeah.
With all that said, guys, again, thank you for tuning in. And Alien, would you like to?
Laissez les bons temps rouler.
Which means let the good times roll. Peace out, people.
What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. And welcome to another segment of Fire or Trash, where we take your favorite YouTube or Twitch streaming content creator and ask them a series of questions really fast. The only thing they can answer is fire or trash. Fire or trash, fire or trash. The only thing you can answer to the questions I ask. Fire or trash, fire or trash.